What is up? We are back after a very exciting week one, unless you are a Browns fan. But we'll be getting into that a little bit later. There is a lot to cover today. I want to go over what the heck happened this week, what the heck might happen next week, and if you're smart, you'll stick around and I might just give you some fantasy pointers at the end. And yes, my voice is a touch gone, but am I still gonna yell the entire time? Yes, and we are just going to totally overlook it, okay? We are going to kick this off on a good note, on a happy note, on a fun note, when I tell you my 3 teams that I think absolutely won this week. I mean, like, yeah, literally and figuratively. And we're gonna start with one that I didn't see coming. The Arizona frickin' Cardinals, baby! They came to win, and they did. They beat the reigning NFC champions, a division rival. Did they come in and dominate and blow the 49ers out of the water? No. But they came in strong and did what they had to do to take home a W, which is huge. Especially in a division that I said time and time again was an absolute coin toss against a very strong defense. Kyler Murray came in and he put up 230 yards. He ran for 91 yards and he had his own rushing touchdown. And him and DeAndre Hopkins looked like they were having a lot of fun together.
Once quarterback by the great Dieter Brock.
Off play action on first down. It's Kyler Murray back to work. And there's DeAndre Hopkins, his 11th catch of the day. And he's out to the 41-yard line, 18 yards through the air.
I sincerely hope that Bill O'Brien was at home on the couch, sitting with a cup of coffee, watching DeAndre Hopkins with a tear running down his eye, thinking, why did I ever do this? DeAndre Hopkins and Kyler Murray connected on 14 catches. D-Hop was one of 5 players to have 14 catches and at least 100 yards in this season opener, but he put up 151. And no, he didn't have a touchdown of his own, but what he did have was a 33-yard catch that brought the Cardinals to the 1-yard line that set up Drake's touchdown.
Murray, pressure coming. Open is Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins with running room inside the 10. Hopkins inside the 5.
It was beautiful. This team looked seamless. Kyler Murray looked great. They were fun to watch. I'm really excited for the Cardinals this season. Now we are going to stay in the division that I love to hate, and we're going to talk a little bit about the Seattle Seahawks, who won 38-25. Seahawks did great last season, but the problem they had was every game was so dramatic. They were so close, it came down to the very end. They couldn't get a large margin. They couldn't get points on the board early. This week, however, Russell Wilson was just dishing it out a little bit. He threw to 9 different receivers. He had 322 passing yards with 4 touchdowns. Russell Wilson was very strong in MVP talk last season before Lamar Jackson kind of just came in and ran away with it, literally. But he has made it very clear that he has come to play, and honestly that he has come to dominate. He threw for 21 of their first 35 plays. They clearly understand where they were weak last season. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. The Seahawks are going to be fire. Greg Olsen had a touchdown. Chris Carson had 2 touchdowns. Carlos Hyde had a rushing touchdown. But DK Metcalf's touchdown on a 4th and 5.
From the 38-yard line. Wilson wants it all. Deep ball. Metcalf got it! Touchdown, Seattle.
They came to win. This offense was dominant. They came in, they knew what they were doing. Russell Wilson completed 31 of his 35 passes. It was beautiful. But you know what else was beautiful? Jamal Adams having 12 total tackles, 8 solo, 4 assists, and 1 sack. I loved absolutely everything about this. However, The NFC has one true king, and his name is Aaron frickin' Rodgers, baby. The man sat at home during the draft thinking that his organization was going to get him a receiver, when instead they drafted his backup. What he did this weekend was look the Green Bay Packers organization dead in the face and say, "Oh, you think I'm finished? Watch this." 364 passing yards and 4 touchdowns. Literally put up 43 points. He literally put up 43 points. And he might have had a little help. Devontae Adams tied a franchise record that was set in 1942. He had 14 catches, 156 yards, 2 touchdowns. It was everything I wanted and more. It felt like Christmas morning. And I will not sit here and knock the Vikings. They put up 34 points. It's just clear that their defense is going to struggle a little bit. They lost Hunter to a neck injury, who's probably going to be out the next 2 games too. And Yannick Ngakoue, who they got from Jacksonville. Yes, I had to Google how to say his name. I said it, I think, 14 different times before I actually got it, and potentially right. I think that's the right way. Was he even there? Cause my man's was silent. But on a real note, nobody deserved that win more than Rodgers. Those were my top 3 teams this week. However, I do have to give one special congratulations to one team in particular. The Jacksonville Jaguars came in and blew my frickin' mind. They comfortably kept up and ended up beating the Indianapolis Colts, with Philip Rivers making his debut on a new team. I will never forget the moment for as long as I live when Red Zone showed that the Jags and the Colts were tied 14-14, and I legitimately said, who the heck is Gardner Minshew getting this ball to? The man, the myth, the legend, Gardner Minshew had one single incompletion. He had more touchdowns than he had incompletions, and his organization gave away his entire team. Like, literally, how is he doing this? It wasn't even just Gardner Minshew. The whole team surprised me. Their undrafted rookie, James Robinson, had 90 yards and flat out hurdled a linebacker. Their coach, Doug Marrone, flat out said, and I quote, "I didn't think he had it in him." Doug Marrone didn't even think they were going to do anything. Their own coach didn't even think they could do anything. Like, what? The Colts are a solid team, and Jacksonville beat them. I just wanted to give them a little bit of a special shout out because I roasted the crap out of them on my last video. Maybe they knew what they were doing. Maybe they had a plan. They are my #1 winner this week, because who would have thunk? And unfortunately, we now have to talk about the teams that really disappointed me this week. And what better place to start than with Tom Brady throwing 2 interceptions and Mike Evans having 1 reception for 2 yards. They lost by 11. They lost 34-23. And they just looked flat out sloppy. It looked like nobody was on the same page. I don't know who was play calling, but I would like to have a word with them. I was so excited to see Gronk. I was so excited to see Tom Brady on a new team with all of the weapons that they have. I literally thought they were like monopolizing in the offseason, and they just could not close. One of Tom Brady's interceptions led to a 6-yard touchdown by Alvin Kamara. The other was a flat out pick 6 that was ran back for 36 yards in the touchdown. Like, it's week 1. We had no preseason. I'm not going to sit here and say that the Bucs are now not in contention for playoffs, that they are screwed. Tom Brady made the worst decision of his life. I was just so excited to see this team, and they royally let me down. This is not the first time Tom Brady has started the season off with a rocky beginning, so hopefully they can just figure it out. But they are on my worst of this week, and it was brutal to watch. They were riding the struggle bus. Unfortunately, I'm going to continue to roast teams from Florida, because next I have the Dolphins. Dolphins losing to the Patriots this weekend might have not surprised a lot of people, but I really had a lot of hope for them. I defended them. I stuck up for them. I wanted the best for them, and they didn't show up for me. And now it looks like they're going to be without Devontae Parker for a while because after 4 catches and 47 yards, he suffered a hamstring injury, and it doesn't look like he's going to be back in the next upcoming weeks. Preston Williams will now be their top target, so please step it up for me there. We'll just see what happens with the Dolphins. And this next one is going to be very difficult for me to talk about, so everybody, please bear with me as the wound is still cut wide open and I have yet to heal. The Philadelphia Eagles blew a 17-0 lead against a team that doesn't even have a name. The last time the Redskins came back from a 17-0 lead was 5 years ago. Carson Wentz was sacked 8 times and threw 2 interceptions. It's really sad. It was really, really sad. On the other hand, however, I will not sit here and bash Carson Wentz. I won't do it for a second. The only thing I want him to get more comfortable with is throwing the ball away in times where it's absolutely necessary. It seems like whenever there's pressure on him, he tries to escape and he tries to make these outstanding last-minute plays, but they lead to turnovers. But he was really alone out there. We have 0 O-line. I am praying Lane Johnson is healthy and back next week. Having Lane Johnson back will not solve all of our problems. It won't even come close. I just feel a lot more comfortable with him out there. Deshaun Jackson only played 54% of snaps because they were trying to protect him, which makes sense since the injury bug is already starting. It's going to be a very long season as an Eagles fan. But the Eagles had to make my worst list this week because they lost to a football team with no name. However, just as I shout out Jacksonville for being the #1 team this week that absolutely surprised me and got the crown, there was an overall worst team this week as well. And they would be the Cleveland Browns. Pun intended. They lost by 32 points. I'm not a fan of Baker Mayfield. He literally opened things up with an interception, and that was the first of 3 turnovers for the Browns. Their kicker missed twice. They tried to do this weird fake punting thing. I don't know. I just feel like there's no hope for them to get it together, and I shouldn't say that. It's super harsh, but like, come on. And with week 1 officially in the books, let's take a little look at week 2. There were a lot of exciting matchups in week 1, and now I think I'm even more excited for week 2 now that we kind of have a grip for how everyone's playing. But I am going to give you my 5 games to watch for this week. Looking at the schedule before week 1, this is a game that I never thought I would be excited for, but I just need to see both of these teams again. Jags at Titans. Did Minshew get lucky, or do him and Doug Marrone actually have something up their sleeve? In my last video, I compared the Colts and the Titans a lot. I want to see what the Jags are able to do. For the Jags to officially earn my respect, they need to win this game. Next, we head into a divisional matchup where I legitimately don't know which team I would rather have win. I've already made it clear that I would absolutely hop on the Bills bandwagon. I have Josh Allen in MVP conversation this year. And he looked good. He threw for 312 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and they rolled right over the Jets. But the Dolphins are a team I had a lot of faith in this season. I think the Bills are absolutely the stronger team. I think this should be an easy week for them after the way the Dolphins played last week, especially now that they're missing Devontae Parker. However, if the Dolphins could pull some miracle out of a magic hat, I wouldn't be that mad. I am so here for this game. This one, I never would have thought I would have put in here, but after a very, very late round of Monday Night Football games, I am eager to watch the Steelers again. Steelers honestly kind of made me think that they could be a playoff team this season. Considering that they went 8-8 without Ben Roethlisberger, I don't know. I think the Steelers might be cooking something up. Their defense, first of all, is absolutely unbelievable. And you know what they say. Defenses win championships, and Steelers got a great one. Yes, James Conner on their offense went down, but I think a lot of other people, especially Juju, stepped up and proved that there are still plenty of other weapons for Ben Roethlisberger to get to.
Zach Banner, offensive lineman, is down. That's one play after Stefan Wisniewski was off, but Juju all smiles, and the lead is...
I know they were only playing the Giants, which is exactly why I want to see them up against another team, and I want to see if they can make some freaking noise this season. Next up, we have the Ravens at the Texans. Poor Texans, man. To have the Chiefs and the Ravens back-to-back is pretty tough. I thought it was going to be a much closer game on Thursday night between the Chiefs and the Texans, but the Texans were really lagging. Deshaun Watson is the second highest paid quarterback under Patrick Mahomes, so he needs to be able to compete with teams like the Chiefs and the Ravens. I want to see him put up more of a fight this week. I just absolutely love watching Lamar Jackson. I would watch him every single day for the rest of my life. He continues to blow my mind. I absolutely adore him with my entire heart. And lastly, Monday Night Football, Saints in the brand new Raiders Stadium in Las Vegas. Michael Thomas suffered a high ankle sprain and will probably not play for a couple weeks. Raiders offense put up 34 points. Josh Jacobs was unstoppable. Derek Carr looks strong, and their defense can make a key stop when they need to. I don't think this is going to be as easy of a win for the Saints as most people would expect it to be. And I'm just excited to see this new stadium because it looks absolutely beautiful. I think this is going to be a fabulous Monday night game. I am here for it. And along with big plays and big upsets, we have some big injuries. Or for some people, your top targets in fantasy just did not play the way you wanted them to, and they did not pull through in the way you needed. I am here to help. I have a couple of waiver wire pickups that might be able to get you through if you lost some big names like Philip Lindsay or Michael Thomas. We're going to start off with a guy that I already kind of hinted at. His name is James Robinson. Like I said, he was an undrafted rookie, and he was the only running back to do anything for the Jags. It seems like they might really rely on him. Do I feel comfortable having you put him as your RB1? No, but I think he could easily make some noise in a flex position, especially on a team that isn't projected to do anything but kind of pull through. I think it might be a good move to snag him now. Another running back from a team that wasn't expected to do anything, Peyton Barber on the Washington football team. I almost messed up, but I didn't. Did he put up crazy yards? No, but the man had 2 goal line touchdowns. Having him in at flex might be a really good idea. If they continue to rely on him to drive in those points, it's someone I'd want on my team. On the other end of that horrific game, Dallas Goedert really made some noise. Would I feel comfortable having him as my starting tight end week after week? No. But he did lead the team in receptions and he got 1 touchdown. And considering our only touchdowns of the day were from each of our tight ends, Eagles clearly like to rely on this position. I think he's a good guy to have just in case. And as much as I hate to say it, Ertz and the Eagles organization are in hot water right now. I think it might be smart to have Goddard. With the uncertainties that George Kittle's hamstring injuries bring, if you need a last-minute tight end, I say go for Chris Herndon, at least just to get you through, maybe not for the whole season. Sam Darnold loved this guy. He had the 2nd most targets after this weekend, and I think he's someone that Sam's going to rely on. In the wide receiver category, I saw Corey Davis on Monday night literally smash a guy into the ground.
From the end zone, throwing and completing. It's Corey Davis.
I wouldn't have him as your starter just yet, but he did look like he was getting more action than AJ Brown, so I don't know what's going to happen. Think I can guarantee that he would get enough points to be worth it though. And we are going to end, of course, with me talking about the Packers, because what else would I want to talk about? Marquez Valdez-Scantling had a 45-yard touchdown from Aaron Rodgers. In training camp before this season even started, Aaron Rodgers had very high hopes for this guy. They are playing the Lions this week too, who don't have a stable defense. I think it might be a really smart move. Please don't be shy and let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And I promise I won't wear cheetah print every single week. I will close out this video by giving you my lock of the week, which is... I don't even think that was in sync. That was just atrocious. I don't even know what that was. Seahawks over Patriots. I don't think anybody, not even Stephon Gilmore, is going to stop that offense. Make sure to tune in next Wednesday and see if I'm right. Peace.